The purpose of this tip and trick is to really get everybody to understand and muse the fantastic features when it comes to selection and priority inside of Inventor. I often speak to so many people that always say they have difficulty with large assemblies, and this is just one small way in which that you can ensure that you're working and increasing your productivity. I have to say that when working with large assembly data sets such as the one I've got here, often selecting, turning things on and off and trying to handle visibility and that type of thing can really be a pain, and I actually in fact find that working with these selection priorities, which you can find up on your top of your screen here on your quick access toolbar, or alternatively you can hold down shift, right click, and they're there as well. The default selection priority here is set to component. So you can notice that when you in actual fact are selecting components, individual components are obviously selected. But also note as well that with component priority, we obviously will pick everything that's related to it, whether it be in a pattern or alternatively a whole sub-assembly. But what is actually quite good is the ability to even just use something as simple as part priority, because part priority gives you the ability to be able to maybe individually pick certain items, find where they are in the browser and that type of thing, because it's really difficult to try and hunt through as to where these sort of things can be often. And keep in mind, it's not just about a part priority by itself either, because if one had to in actual fact choose that you'd like part priority and had to select something, just keep in mind as well, you can probably group this command and you can say, well, find all the occurrences of that particular bolt. So you can see here that in actual fact, selecting things, being able to turn them on and off, makes it a lot easier, much quicker, rather than for me to go and try and find them inside of the browser. One of the other things as well, which is very, very powerful within this, is the ability to also not only group something like part priority, but I could say, for example, pick that, but I could also do things like what's it constrained to, or even pick things that are relative to its size. And there are options to this as well. And then, of course, we've got things like a component offset and that type of thing. But if I had to say component size, you'll notice everything basically relating to that component size and less has in actual fact been selected. So you can see here within the dialog box we've got choices here as to whether you want at least or most. It specifies a size there, which you could maybe type in a slightly smaller or larger one if needed, and then of course move on from there. Keep in mind that there are quite a few of these to actually use. Again, part priority, you might want to go and pick, say, for example, this as well. And I might also want to come back over here and say that I'd like to do a sphere offset on this. So you can see that everything completely bounded inside of the sphere can be picked. All right, and can obviously really speed up things quite nicely. One of my favorite ones as well here is that especially when you have a lot of things to be able to pick is to pick by a selection of a plane. So I could say, for example, select that plane, and you can see everything within this side of the plane has in actual fact been selected. It's everything inside, but not necessarily crossing, which you can of course pick. And of course you've got your option to select different directions. So if you wanted to pick the different ones from there too. Again, great choices for being able to work with this. And again, great choices as well if you wanted to combine anything that you particularly pick. So if I had to say, for example, I wanted to say part priority, pick this, I'm going to do a sphere offset, okay, and I also might want to add something else as well. I could say I'm happy with that selection, and I might want to pick this one too. All right, and I might want to come up over here and say isolate. So basically, that very, very quickly I've been able to turn on and off what I in actual fact would want and what I'm not particularly bothered about seeing. So you can very quickly come in and go over there, have a look as to what I want, what's all involved, and everything inside the window. Another great one as well, when we talk about these selection priorities, is like I say, it's the whole thing is about not having to try and find it in the browser. For example, we also have things like feature priority, and you'll notice that as I click on feature priority, what I can do is I can actual fact move my model, my cursor over my model, and I can see here individual features. I have no idea even what this solid's called, but I might want to edit that fillet there. So you can see here by having feature priority, I can easily simply select it. I just need to double click it, so I'm happy with that. takes me straight to the component that I in actual fact want to edit in place. I can come in here and say, right, I'd like to make that fillet there bigger or smaller, depending on what you in actual fact want to do. You can see I can obviously dynamically edit that as needed. All right, and once I'm happy with the particular size that's being put into place, I can of course go in and say I'm happy with that, and again say OK. So very, very quickly I've been able to just go straight to the component, straight to the feature, and of course then return back to the top. So play around with these priority settings, because they really, really will make life a lot easier when working inside of the assembly.